Iburu, Iboya, Ibucheche, everybody in Cyberlands, if everybody allow, at least I hope so, Omodu, Modileke, coming at you with another great video. Hey, this time, Pataki time, right? We're gonna start to unwind a little bit, right? And unravel a little bit of the Cuba Letra de Año, right? Being that we're at the end of the month, and I wanna make sure I get these three Patakis out there for you. The first Pataki I want to talk to you about today is one that's called Iroso Umbo. But this particular Pataki within Iroso Umbo or Iroso Obe, right, has to do with the birds and how they receive their wings. And we're going to touch on the moral and the ethical explanation on why this Pataki is so important. But with that said, as always, again, not gonna give you the highlights of the intro and the highlights of the conclusion and the music and all that. I'm just gonna dig right in to save time. Always remember, if you need my email address, you want to get in contact with me, just email me, right? Ask a question, comment. So in this particular pataki, Iroso Umbo, we talk about how the birds receive their wings. In this pataki, long ago, when the world of the spirits, the birds did not have wings, right? When everything was still transitioning into matter into this world, the only creatures who possessed wings was the bat, who kept the secrets of flight for themselves. The other birds, envious of the bat's ability, right? They began to soar through, well, they went to Orumila for help, right? Because they wanted to soar like the bats. Orumila, seeing, this dilemma that the birds had, agreed to help them. He instructed them to gather the material. He did he did a consultation on them for divination and came out with the Odum of Iroso. Now, Orumila emphasized the importance of the unity and cooperation among them throughout the process. The birds needed to heed Orumila's advice and work together harmoniously in order for this to actually come to fruition. Now, after completing the rituals and making the necessary sacrifices, the birds received their wings. Each bird was granted wings that best suited their nature, right, and their needs. The eagle received broad, powerful wings to soar high, while the hummingbirds received small, swift wings for rapid, agile flight. Right? The bats, they felt outsmarted and resentful that now they were not the premier animals that were in flight. So they decided to distance themselves from the birds and they began to live in a nocturnal life. That's why we notice that bats are to themselves. Now, they only come out at night when the other birds are sleeping, which brings to conclusion that we do have other birds at nighttime that truly have a unity or a pact with these bats, like the owl, right? And when we talk about the pacts between the bats and the owls, we begin to kind of see the mystery of what the owl holds, what the bat holds. That's why for a lot of us practitioners, the bat is a sacred animal, the owl is a sacred animal, and if we are able to get pieces of them in order to do and charge different things, you begin to see that there's a lot of mystical energy within the owl and the bat. But let's take a pause here and let's evaluate this particular pataki. In Iroso Umbo, this year, for anybody who is following this, for the spiritual houses, we need to remember that we cannot envy what other people's have, right? The birds themselves wanted to soar into the sky. But what this story did not tell you was that their needs didn't necessarily outweigh their want. They wanted to soar high in the sky. They wanted to soar like the bat. But only the bat can be the bat. Only the eagle can be the eagle, and the hummingbird can be the hummingbird. They didn't all get the exact wings that they needed, but it adapted to what they needed in nature in order to be successful. So Iroso Umbo, the first thing that we need to remember is don't envy what you don't have. Because maybe what you don't have, you don't necessarily need, right? Worry about the needs in your life, not the wants in your life. Don't worry about what other people have. Worry about what you have and what you need to be successful. Obviously, this Pataki, when you begin to kind of look at the highlights of this particular Pataki, we understand that in this year, it's important for us to refocus on us, reflect on us, worry about the needs, not the wants. It's important for us to go to divination when we see that there may be a problem that particularly needs to be solved by Ifa. It's important in Iroso Umbo, or anybody who holds this sign, to always reflect and remember that they got to take care of themselves in order to take care of others. And that particular Pataki is important for us to remember. So with that said, Iroso Umbo, we got Obewali, we also have Iyobe, we have some two other Patakis that need to be released for you all. And with that said, happy Sunday. Hopefully you're watching the NFL game. Go Chiefs. Iburu, Iboya, Ibucheche, Cyberland.